Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Elijah Sisters podcast. This is the first episode of the new year. We are officially in 2023. Are you as excited about this new year as I am? Let me hear you give a shout. We are so excited. I am excited. Chantalie and Angelique, it is Friday. It is the first, we have made it to the first week of the new year. How are you all doing so far this week?
I guess there's stuff going on in one of my sister's houses, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good so far. Looking forward to my birthday week. I took a day off after, so go enjoy a little celebration.
Just a moment. Yeah. So I loved it. I love you guys' pictures. I'm hoping I'm going to see faces shortly. I know Chantalie is not feeling well today, so we're giving her a day off of the camera. We will hear from her shortly. But
if I go away, it's because my camera froze. Because my camera froze for a second. So
life is life, and things happen, so we understand that for sure. But we are definitely happy to all be here with you. Like I said, celebrating and just embracing another year. I was thinking today as I was getting ready. It takes time, but I'm like this.
You're not Beyonce. You ain't woke up like this.
I don't wake up like Beyonce. And oh my gosh, I will be getting married soon. I hope he doesn't think that.
He can think it.
Poor fella. But I was thinking this morning that we went through having New Year's Eve just last weekend, and I think that was like our second one since we've been. Our church is virtual. We've been on Zoom since the pandemic, but before that, my whole life literally has been watch night services. New Year's Eve services, because we started off not going to African American services, so that wasn't a term I heard in my younger years, but no. I've been in church, we shall say, my whole life, bringing in the new year. And so these last 2 years, it's been really weird to be at home. And I wanted to ask you all, I meant to say something when Mom and Dad were on the show, but how does it feel to you all I'm almost afraid to ask this question. How does it feel to be at home on New Year's Eve when you've spent your whole life being in church on New Year's Eve?
I can go first. Oh, because I'm so used to, depending on, especially, when I got to a certain age, depending on if it fell on a Friday, get off work, come home, get your stuff together, what you gonna have to do, get your dance clothes, whatever song we gonna sing in the choir, get everything together, we gonna be in church, we gotta, depending on what we doing that night, are we cooking or bringing food, are we whatever,
right. Oh my gosh,
bring some extra shoes if we gonna be there late, might wanna bring some little pants if you don't feel like getting dressed, stay dressed up. And now it's like, I ain't had to go nowhere. I didn't have to do, I just came to church. I just was like, okay, we had church at normal time. We didn't have a midnight, countdown, nothing. It was just, I was in the house at midnight watching TV, chilling. Nope, take it back. I was editing. I was editing Bishop Dwight's program.
Countdown, but I had it with my kids and my grandson, which was really, really special. I live here in South Carolina with my oldest son, my middle child, and my oldest and my youngest are back in Michigan, and my little grand is in Michigan. And so my son here said, he was going to go out, and he just felt like he didn't want me to bring in the new year without my children, which is really special. So he called and had all my children on video chat with me, and that was uber special. It was literally priceless just to see all their faces as we crossed into 2023. And listen, my grandson is his father's child, and just seeing everybody on camera, he was the clown on the camera, and was the life of the party. It wasn't just for 5 minutes. He had everybody laughing, and that was all I needed. And people kept asking me, "What you gonna do for New Year's Eve?" And I was like, "Sit here in my house and
Yeah, like I remember when, like, you know, like I'm not. First of all, I'm not old, but I'm just saying. I remember at a certain age, I would have thought, oh, you know, well, since I don't have to, you know, since I don't have to go to church, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out with some friends. We're going to, you know, and now I was like, okay, I am. The thought of that was making me tired. I'm like, I don't want to go out nowhere.
Right. I think because I've grown up, and then I'm gonna let Chantalie come on. I think because I've grown up so churched in a way, and I always hate when people say I'm so churchy. I shouldn't say I hate it. It's just such a cliche term, but it applies to so many people and so many of my friends, who I love dearly. Hugs and kisses to you all, but in some ways I am too, and that's no problem with it. I wasn't a person who necessarily felt that I needed to be anywhere else if I wasn't doing what I've always done my whole life, which was be in church. So I honestly felt like if I wasn't in church, I didn't need to be. You know, I've definitely been in family gatherings and with close friends, but I'm a person who's so good with my own company that I feel like people didn't understand that I'm so comfortable in my house, in my fuzzy socks, in my favorite jammies, my favorite blanket. That's a celebration.
Exactly.
And when you grow up in church, and my parents have pastored for the majority of my life, honey, I'm a person who has to do a lot.
Yes.
I was thankful that I wasn't, that I didn't have a lot of responsibilities New Year's Eve. What?
Because normally it would have been, more likely I would have had a dance. Might have had to do a solo and a group dance, depending on what we was doing that way. But at least I would have had to dance at least once. I definitely would have been singing. Would have had to do the sound, which I still had to do, but in a different way, for other people. And then we might have had some kind of evening light food. So I probably would either had to bring some or help with that. You know,
and if we had a guest and we were hosting.
Gotta host that. It's like it's a lot of stuff we would have had to do.
When you in that PK world, it's not complaining. It's just the gig.
No, it's just it's just the gig. So it's like I didn't have to do that this time. It was like we had the service normal time. We was like, have a good New Year. See y'all Tuesday. Right. And we was done.
And when you're in it, listen. And my mom said this last week when she was on. And when you're in Elijah, period. But when you're one of the three of us. Believe it or not, this is a light deed. Going out for New Year's Eve, it would take me about 2.5 hours to do my face.
Oh, yeah, no. Because what I have on tonight, my camera probably gonna freeze again, but at least you can see my face. This is not what I would have looked like at all.
Child, please. I look at you like, are you feeling poorly? Are you sick?
No, it would have been eyebrows, eyelashes, eyelids, makeup, lips, hair, clothes, jewelry, shoes. Man, this time it was just like.
Natalie, how did it feel for you to be home on New Year's Eve when you've spent, like the rest of us, your whole life being in church? Was it different for you? Well, you've had a different schedule than us, maybe.
I guess, yeah, I would say it was different, kind of like a break almost.
Yeah. And breaks are fine. Because it's going to be over and we're going to all be back in church at some point.
At some point. At some point, maybe.
Singing and dancing again. And we'll be thankful for it. But that was on my mind earlier. So normally I give some entertainment news, and we just really didn't have a lot that I felt was uplifting or anything I wanted to bring. We've kind of crossed over to this year with a lot of heaviness.
About Matilda on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet, but unless you just want to talk about it.
I personally do not, but you're welcome to.
Oh, you want to talk about Matilda musical?
It wasn't ever my movie. I've always thought the soundtrack was a little bit better than the show. Than the music.
Know who you
I think, and if you've been following us, we're similar in so many ways, but I think when it comes to music, productions, plays, television, movies, we have some very major differences.
Yeah.
And I think this is gonna be one of the ones. So we're gonna draw a line in the sand. It's gonna be what it is. And I think too, Matilda had a different audience, and I didn't feel that I was their audience because it was written for a younger audience.
And I'm trying to think, I can't remember how old I was when Matilda came out, but I'm like, I know I'm 7 years younger than you, so
yeah,
that
because I read
been
about it
well out of your wheelhouse. Like, of course, I know you know Roald Dahl because you were the one that gave me the book to read, the real Willy Wonka. I remember you had those.
Oh, absolutely.
But
yeah,
I think when Matilda came out, you was grown, so you wouldn't have
been. Yeah.
So
Matilda is written for more preteens and younger kids, and that and
I loved
it.
Wasn't
like
Matilda.
I love the soundtrack. I love the music.
I haven't seen I saw somebody review the musical, but it wasn't anything I could watch yet. So I definitely want to see the one on Netflix because it basically is the musical, the stage play version in the movie form, and so I definitely want to see the changes of it. So I'm like, I plan to watch it just because.
I will probably watch it. It's just not on the tippy top of my 2003.
It's not on the tippy top.
It's not on my tip tops. No, it's not.
Okay, what about the new Puss in Boots? You plan to watch new Puss in Boots?
Moving on.
Well,
she just dissed Antonio Banderas.
Listen, you got Beauty and the Beast out of me. Y'all need to be happy.
I know that's not your thing. I already know. I was messing with you. I plan to watch both, but I definitely want to see them.
You tell me if it warms the cockles of your hearts. And
my cockles was warm with the trailer.
Okay. It warms the cockles of your heart. Sean, to me, we're saying it all year long. So
this 2023 is the year of warm cockles.
The warm cockles.
You gonna make me all right? Y'all gonna make me say what I think about every time y'all say it.
Yeah, because the way you say it sounds like something else, but that's why it makes it funny.
I ain't gonna say it on here, but I'm gonna type it in the chat. That's why I'm so offended.
Oh my gosh. I will say that I refuse to read it.
It's because I gotta have everything up, so it popped up in my peripherals, and I was like, somebody said so, and I was like, oh.
My sisters.
Oh, my stomach hurt. My stomach hurt. I'm crying. Oh, I can't breathe. Okay.
Are y'all done?
Okay. As long as I stop looking at it, but every time I look at it, it makes me laugh again.
I refuse to look at it. I'm not.
Oh, you better look at it.
You gonna make me say it.
And Shotty, you keep pushing Shotty, she gonna say it, Renee. Oh my goodness. Oh.
I do want to say, just because we care, that our prayers continuously go out to Damar Hamlin. I don't know if you all heard, but that he suffered a cardiac arrest during the Buffalo Bills game this past weekend, and things did not look good for him. But he actually is awake now. He was in ICU and was on a ventilator, but he actually FaceTimed his team. I think today.
It always worries me when somebody that's not that old has something major happen.
He was 24 years old.
Yeah, it always worries me.
So, and I hadn't had a lot of chance to get into it. I honestly didn't. It kind of hurt so bad because I was just thinking he's the same age as my sons, you know?
Yeah.
We just pray for him that he comes around. I immediately thought about his mom and what that must have felt like to watch that happen.
Because it's one thing to say, it happened in the locker room or he was at home, but during wow.
I couldn't even imagine what that would have felt like. And not have an answer. And you don't know if your son's going to live through that. I couldn't even. Yeah, I'm gonna have to somebody come get me.
I would think that would almost be in some way, even though I already know some of the guys would say it didn't. I think that would even be hard for his team to see, because something like that, you don't know what it is at first, and then it's
and I'm gonna tell you,
you're like, it's like it's a shock.
It was, and it hit the sports world worldwide. And I will tell you, I always look for the good that comes from anything, any tragedy. From the clips that I saw from the game, the things that I saw that were a blessing was that the team went and covered him. They surrounded him. They didn't allow him to be seen publicly. That it affected everybody. That you saw players publicly kneel and pray. You saw these big men begin to weep because they're human.
Mm-hmm. They form such a bond. Some of them, it's like they become like brothers and stuff. So it's like that hit some of them hard.
And if it could happen to this person, it could have been them.
Yeah.
But again, this is a very young man.
Yeah.
So I'm just
not
praying
even 25.
Through this. And praying for his family, because what's affecting him is affecting his entire family.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That is what I wanted to say. And for all of the players that's affecting, because I was before I got on, I was reading even Michael Strahan, who was long since retired, and that he had to take a break just because it's affecting him. So you got to think about all the retired players who this is affecting. So I just praying for their family. Moving on, I just want to pray that going into, preacher me saying pray that, hope that, believe that. And
don't shy that.
Going in, I'm trying to hold it on. But going into this year, that we are even more. In 2020, when the pandemic hit, we were a country that became so loving and so caring about everybody. Like, everybody was hugging each other and calling each other and talking to each other, and then it's kind of felt like into 2022 we forgot that, and we've kind of gone back to where we were before that. And I hope that going into this year, we're kind of totally in a way going back to our normal as we can ever be after living through a pandemic, that we don't forget what we experienced in time of excessive loss, in time of great pain. Number one, that it absolutely can and probably will happen again. But what we learned from it, what we learned about humanity, what we learned about our families, and most of all, what we learned about ourselves in that time, and that we don't lose that we continue to become better people, stronger people, greater people, as we start this year off. And we're going to get into some of that later into our show. All right. So now that I've had my tiny little TED talk for the moment, let's get into it's beginning of the year. Let's acknowledge. So one of my friends wrote me and she said, I sure wish when you would tell us what every month was. And I got away from it because I thought, surely these people aren't got to be bored to death learning about what every month represents. And so I thought, let's kick back to it. So we're in the month of January. The month of January is Adopt a Rescue Bird Month. So if you don't know what to do this month, go on ahead and adopt you a little rescue bird. Become a great humanitarian.
I never was a huge bird person. I
wasn't either. They're louder than dogs and cats to me. I just have a sock down somewhere.
And I still remember the one time, that time, Shani, we were in the mall, and I was with Shani, and I don't know if Shani remembers, we saw that huge giant parrot in that window. That thing was like, did y'all find a dinosaur parrot? Is this historic? That thing, I had never seen a parrot like in person that huge. And it just like, it was, and it wasn't huge because I was young. That thing was huge. And I'm like, you want that as a pet in your house? That's a person. I'm sorry, that's a person in my house. Now I'm like, I'm not even gonna treat you like a pet. And yeah. And it just was sitting there in the window in the side with this big eye in the window, like, I see you. You want to buy me? I ain't think so. Ooh.
Our church used to own a daycare, and we had a one summer session where we had all these different animals for the kids. We were teaching them so much about caring for animals and you know, life and all these different things. And so my mom was our executive director we had 6 different businesses, but specifically for the daycare. And so somehow I got wrangled in that I was the person who was going to pick up all these different animals, the person who's not necessarily the animal person. And so when I went to go, we had decided to get some cockatoos. And so we went to go pick up the cockatoos. And here's what we learned. You really should study these animals before you go and buy them. We were just buying animals. And so we had thought, our daycare at that time was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so all the kids that were there at night were kids who literally were there to sleep. Their parents worked at night. And so, you know, I think like most people, you'd always hear, you know, when you want to put birds to sleep, you put something over the cage, they'll fall asleep. Yeah, that, what we found out, applies to certain birds.
Thank you.
So our cockatoos slept during the day and had a lot to talk about during the night.
That thing did not go to sleep. It did not go to sleep.
2 of them.
Lies.
2 white cockatoos.
Yes.
Yeah. And they were messy. Oh my God, that was the other thing.
Yeah, they are really messy.
Prepared us for how messy they were. Oh my gosh. Them things kicking their bird seat out like nobody's business.
Oh my God.
And they fought each other.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, so many things on like TV make it seem like birds are just so calming and peaceful. And you can just nah. I
think every animal can be calming, but you just study up on it and I'll move on. Another thing was we said, well, we're gonna get some fish. The kids will enjoy the fish. Well, you need to know what type of fish you put in the tank. You cannot mix your fish.
Yes.
Because we put Oscars in with smaller fish, not thinking that Oscars eat smaller fish. So
we came back and we had nothing but some Oscars.
I never forget this day. My best friend called me. She was the director of the daycare, and she said, "You need to get over to this building immediately." And I get over there, and she said, "I walked in here, and it was." She said it was like a scene from Jaws, and it was a bloodbath.
Oh my, yes.
And the Oscar. And the problem was the kids watched their movies in the same room that the fish tank was. Mm-hmm. And the Oscar was deciding to have his lunchtime.
Oscar said, well, you gave me food.
He was devouring these little tiny fish in there, and these kids was in there screaming. It was horrendous. So what we learned was you should study first. And maybe just one animal at a time. But anyway, those chronicles of Milk and Honey days, I tell you. January is also Be Kind to Food Servers Month. Both of my sisters have been food servers, and I can tell you,
yes.
They probably could write a book on what they've experienced, but I definitely would say you should be kind to your food servers.
Please do.
As someone who worked in fast food alone, I would tell you, one of the people you should always be kind to are the people who touch your food.
Thank you.
Putting that out there.
Not gonna say I did or did not do nothing, but
I'm pleading the fifth.
You done seen some stuff being done.
Thank you. I'll put it this way. I'm not saying I did or did not do nothing, but some stuff happened to people's food that I may or may not have known about. So you might want to just watch yourself.
Yeah. Don't have like the vibrato when your boy's yelling and hollering at people. That just
or maybe
make the meal come back good.
Maybe don't call the person taking your order a B.
Now, how about you don't do that?
Maybe
or
don't
stupid, call or dumb,
or a
or
stupid,
slow.
Or a stupid B, or a stupid B,
sometimes
or a C.
When your meal is really taking a long time, it's actually done.
Yeah,
it's been sitting there. Anyway,
that's just saying, like I mean,
you know what I was thinking about the other day, because I've been watching a lot of Disney stuff on Miss Mojo for some reason, and they keep talking about Hercules. And David Wood came to our restaurant one time, and usually at that restaurant you get really good tips, and like especially around the holidays you get really good tips. And he was nice and everything. I try to be cool. I wasn't like, do you David Wood? But
you talking about where we both worked?
Okay,
yeah. I thought, yeah. Go ahead.
And so he went. When he left, I thought I was gonna get a really good tip because he's a celebrity, and I got like a regular $20 tip. Like I wasn't complaining, but I respected him for that. I was like, you know what? Stay in control of your money. I respect that.
Do you think everybody else respected him for that?
I was the only one that served him, so I don't know.
All right. I mean, I don't think everybody should ball out every time just because they're a celebrity. I agree. I think
I will say, especially depending on what he got, a $20 tip.
It wasn't a lot.
It's a very good tip.
It's very good. Okay, yeah. So that was good then. So he was balling out, but not balling out. But he at least was like, okay, I'm gonna look out for you because I can. And I would have been like, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
I mean, because you can't keep your money if you go out to eat all the time and then you doing huge tips and stuff all the time. Right. It was reasonable, and I respect that.
Right.
Yeah, but
January
just on the food service, and I'm not saying this. I wasn't using a hypothetical. I was called a stupid bee one time because I couldn't hear what the order was called, what the order was through our headsets, and he was like, "Did you get it this time, you stupid bee?" And again, didn't know where you are. It was on my headset, and the whole back part heard it too. So, and that person may or may not have gotten crushed hard shell tacos. I don't know for sure. I don't know. I can't say for sure that somebody put the bag down and then mushed the bag on the counter with their hand. I don't know if that happened. It may have. I don't know.
That sounds like that was you specifically.
I don't know. It wasn't. I might have been around to see somebody do it. I might have seen somebody maybe stick their finger in the soda while I was filling in the fountain. I don't know these things.
Ma'am. All right.
I don't know these things that happen. I wasn't.
Rules and laws they'll be making in the future.
I wasn't around. I wasn't even on no more. I was taking off because my manager was like,
but I say her before she get in trouble.
He was wrong. But no, my manager didn't take me off. She was like, he was wrong. I got it. I got it. You go ahead and take it off. She was like, you go ahead and go to the back. I got it. So because she was like, that wasn't necessary. You do create a bond
though when you're in like that.
Because she was like, that wasn't necessary.
I've been called that before, and I have had when I worked at KFC. I will say this, and I think people don't understand this when they're in a drive-through unless you've worked fast food before. When you're talking in that speaker, the whole restaurant can hear you.
Yes. I hear your order. The rest of them hear it so they can start making your food.
Because they have to prepare it.
Yes. Yes. Like I'm hearing it to put it in. They're hearing it to start cooking. I got called out of my name.
The person in KFC that was on chicken, he was like, "Did that person just call you?" And I said yes. Yeah. And so, food gets dropped, food gets mishandled, stuff. Never mind. I'm not incriminating anybody. No. Let's move on.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I've only ever been pulled off of drive-through 3 times, and all 3 times was because somebody was wrong with me. That time, another time, a lady went off on me because I was like put together her order to make it a combo instead of how she ordered to make it a little bit less, and she was like, "I got money. You have to make it less," and she was going off on me, and I was leaning through the drive-through window, and my manager was like, "Hey, I got it. You can go." Because I was like, I'm already busy. My uncle's in the hospital in an induced coma because he had an asthma attack because he was living with a woman that was smoking. I'm stressed. There's nobody here. And she tripping about me trying to help her out. And the third time was somebody called me a thief. And come to find out he dropped his change inside his car and didn't find it. And he said I stole it. So, just remember,
people forget some things.
They're humans when you go to get food. They're humans. They're human people. When you go get food, when you go get your chicken and tacos and burgers, they're humans inside. They're human peoples.
Yeah.
So you know.
And we wear the little name tag so you don't have to forget. You don't have to guess about our names. It's
no, you know, I'm not a robot. I was born from, I was birthed from two parents. I have a name. So, it's just working in that. I always try to make sure, like, I'm always very considerate when even if I'm irritated, like, I'll make sure I don't say stuff they can hear. Because I'm just like, I just know, like, I could be dealing with somebody that they could have been working a double shift. They could have been here all day. They could be new. I always try to think about it. And then it's like, sometimes you just know these are just like people. But, I always try to consider, like, I've been them. I know.
You've been there. Yeah.
I always try to give that extra little grace.
I do too.
Till you just burst into grace.
But I try to always acknowledge when I can visibly tell someone is brand new, especially when they're on a register. Because let me tell you something. Till you have handled a register,
hello,
you don't know the trauma being on a register, especially during a high traffic time that will make you lose your mind.
Yes, because everything on the register is abbreviated.
If you have a boss who's breathing down your throat, like,
yes,
that's not fun. It is not easy, and then you got people who are being, impatient. It's hard to catch on to the register. It's not a store register.
No, I think about the first time my first ever fast food, my first was at the Bell, and I think I almost had a panic attack because I was just like, I'm nervous. I'm not getting it. I don't know what I'm doing because everything is abbreviated. They're not giving you the whole words, and the people are just telling you stuff fast, and you're trying to find what they need. And it was like, whoo. So it's like I always try to, if I can tell somebody is new, I'll repeat it again. I'll stay calm. I'll make sure I tell them, you got it. Don't worry about it.
I always tell them it's okay. Take your time. I've been there before. Yeah.
And you can see
and
that.
I always tell them you did a good job.
You can see that relaxes them to know I'm not going to be that one customer that just goes off and be like, you ain't got it. Hurry up. Like, I'm getting some Taco Bell food. I'm obviously not in a rush. You all right.
So January is also Celebration of Life Month. We've had a lot of conversation about that in 2022, so I'm not even going to touch that. Whether you are pro-choice, pro-life, you are here, so we're celebrating your life.
Thank you.
All right. It's also Cervical Health Awareness Month. It is Children's Impacted by Parents Cancer Month. And as someone who has 3 children very much impacted by cancer, as I have been battling cancer now, this year will be 8 years for me, I can tell you that I have watched it impact my children's lives very much. And I'm thankful for the way that they fight as much as I fight. And I love my kids so much. But when you know someone has cancer, always think about their kids, because parents handle it one way, but kids handle it a whole different way, because your parents have raised you, but there's always something more that your kids need from you. And I'm always thinking about what more do I need to leave my kids, tell my kids, help my kids with. And I can't help but think that they're thinking the same thing. And now I'm a grandparent, so I'm thinking, what all can I make sure that my grandson has for me? Well, grandsons have for me. So it's different. And I think about kids who've lost their parents very young. My children are adults, so they've been raised. I feel for children who've lost their parents very young. That has to be so impactful. So think about that as you're going throughout this year, and even just throughout this month. Give somebody a hug. My kids will tell you they still need a hug. It still affects them. So I don't think it matters. There's not an age gap. You can't say when you're 18 it doesn't affect you. If their parent has cancer, it's affecting them. I don't care if they're 5. I don't care if they're 50. I promise you. And so, Chantalie, your mother-in-law is battling now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would think that still would apply for my brother-in-law, and is he 40 or 41?
What'd you say?
I think that would apply to my brother-in-law, but I can't ever remember if Jonathan is 40 or 41.
41.
Okay. Oh, him is old. Okay. I've known Jonathan since he was 15 years old. Wow. It is today actually marks the beginning of Carnival season, girls. I would want to ask you all if y'all gonna celebrate, but I don't know if you are.
Nope.
I will say I have always wanted to go experience
I do too.
Like the real carnival.
I need to lose about 200 more pounds though.
I'm gonna go as I is. I done seen some of them women.
That's true. They are very free in other countries. This country is the only country that has issues with bodies and imaging.
Yes.
Other countries
they be in there with they feathers and boas and be looking just as plump. So, I do want to definitely experience the real experience of it. So I might have a little small little celebrate in the house, just be like carnival.
All right, you go ahead and celebrate. All right. This is also Financial Wellness Month. At the end of this month, we are going to have a show totally dedicated to our financial wellness, and we want you to join us for that. That's going to be an amazing episode. It is Get Organized Month. Are you taking this month to get yourself organized? Whether that is your house, mentally, your business, emotionally. This is the time of the year to do it. Starting out before you get deep into the year. I always have taken January to try to get my home. I know people do a lot of time with spring cleaning, but I've always felt January is a month to get my house together, and to kind of chart my course for the year. So I will continue to get myself together. This is January, Ginuary. You want to take a guess what that means?
Do that mean the spirit?
People celebrating January are taking a shot one day, every day this month to celebrate gin.
I cannot stand the taste of gin. That is
Angelique, you had gin?
Somebody forced it on me.
I am shocked.
Somebody said, Andrew, you must have it. And I said, oh, I must. But that's just a flavor that's just not. And I think I can tolerate it in like cocktails, but that's just not a flavor. I'm definitely not to have no shot of it. Like I promise you, I would probably do one day and be like, I guess that's all right. I got it for the rest of the month. Because this is less. I can't imagine like it wouldn't even be fun. I would literally be forcing myself to do that. It would be just like, like that's not. Whoever loves. Some people that love it. I'm not one of those people.
I don't care for it.
It's not.
I've heard. I believe that I wouldn't care for it. Anyway,
she believes.
I believe I would not care for it.
I see how y'all threw me under the bus. Only Angelique has had gin. We don't know what gin tastes like. Okay. All right. I see what y'all doing.
Shantali didn't say anything. Shantali was smart. She didn't say anything.
I really don't know what it tastes like. Only time I've had it was when in the pre-mixed bottles that's already pre-mixed with gin and juice.
Oh, okay. All right, so then dog. All right.
So I really don't know what it tastes like.
Not that I know anything about that song because we grew up in church.
Okay, now you're just being ridiculous.
It's just what my friends tell me about. All right, so this is International Brain Teaser Month.
Well, I like a good brain teaser.
I got some good ones for y'all before we get into the show today. It is International Creativity Month. It is International New Year's Resolutions Month for your businesses. It is International Quality of Life Month. It is International Wealth Mentality Month. I think that should be every month.
Really? It is every day.
It is Learn to Ski and Snowboard Month. I have always wanted to learn to ski. Not snowboarding so much, but I have always wanted to learn to ski.
I thought I wanted to learn how to ski, and then I was like, and I sat backwards, and I was like, no, I think I want to learn how to ski. I don't actually want to learn how to ski. Like it's something that's like
Manuary. This is Manuary. What? Manuary has, I've come to find out, 2 different definitions. So Manuary 1 is the month that men. So we just had Movember, where men. I guess Movember was when men shaved up. Some men shaved their beards, and some men grew out their beards. I was really confused on that. I was saying 2 different things.
Mo would make sense if they shaved it, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think it was their shaving. So Manuary, I looked up, getting ready for tonight. When men grow out their beards to represent supporting women, but it also has a different.
I'm still wait. How does that support me by them growing out their beard? I mean, I know. So I know a lot of women have facial hair and a lot of women have beards they have to clean up. But how does that? I don't know the through line. I'm really asking. Like, I don't know the through line to.
No, I had it written down. Hold on, because I know you have the questions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how did you growing out your beard support my femininity?
No, you're right. That was different. Manuary is the spirit of awareness. Well, it's spirit of awareness for cancers regarding head, neck cancer, and helping ways that they can support them.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. That's okay. All right. Okay. That's why I was like, I need y'all to explain this to me. I don't want to just be like, I'm supporting women by growing out my beard. Are you?
Movember is when they shave, and that has to do with supporting women, issues with women.
Okay, I get it.
That's not going to do anything for me. But anyway,
no, that's like some of the things they say. Some of the stuff they throw on us as women is like, yeah, all right. Thanks.
But Manuary also is the other definition for Manuary is for single women, and it is a time of the year when single women are encouraged to go out and find
Don't do it. Don't do
really?
it.
Seriously?
I knew that was going to end in an ugly way.
I felt it coming in my soul. I felt it coming in. I think I felt it in my uterus coming, and I was like, "This is about to be bad." My uterus was like, "This is about to be bad, Angie," and I was like, "Is it?" And you said what you said, and I was like, "Yeah, this is bad. This is bad." I agree. You, because I call my uterus. No.
I don't think there needs to be a big running on of single women going out there manhunting.
No, I'm very much single and have been single for quite a while, but I don't need y'all to be like, go get you a man in January, girl. like
they off to the races, girl.
Because my thing is with these ridiculous type of things like this. Think about somebody saying that to your face. Do you want that to happen? No? Then take the day off the calendar. That's offensive.
You better believe that's staying. If some women who've been waiting for January, you better believe it.
You know when you can get a man in February,
anytime
March,
of year.
April, May. I mean, it's 12 months you can do the same thing.
There's certain specific focuses that happen. I mean, I'm not in the Manuary bunch anymore. So
I'm not in the Manuary bunch.
So I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna change mine to Manuary means garnet then. Because y'all, I'm not participating in that foolishness. They don't even make me want to look for the date in January because this is making me mad now. I'm standing up for all single women.
It's also National Be On Purpose Month. We'll be dealing with that in 2 weeks. That's going to be awesome. It's also National Braille Literacy Month. There was a time in my life I really wanted to learn Braille. It was after I really learned like the Kellen Heller story, and I just really had a
go back and reverse
not obsession, but a really serious. I don't even know if it was. I don't know if the word is love, but I really wanted to learn Braille. Interest. I don't know why that word was. It just escaped me, and it was the simplest word to not think of. I really wanted to learn it. And I really wanted to learn it because I really wanted to identify with blind people, and I feel like I wanted to help. Like if someone blind needed my assistance, I wanted to be like, and I don't know why, because now I'm thinking at 44, they probably would have been able to help me more than I could help them. But
yeah, because it's like you think about it. But I get it. I get it.
9-10-year-old Leah. This is
not, you was like, I want to help.
Fully rational thinking Leah. Because I used to watch the Helen Keller story and cry every single time I used to watch it. It's also Clean Up Your Computer Month, which you should be doing far more than just January.
Really?
You won't have a computer by December.
If you wait till January to clean your computer, you ain't got no computer.
It's National Glaucoma Awareness Month. It's National Hot Tea Month. I didn't have a hot tea for you all today, but starting next week we'll have a different hot tea for you all. Hot tea is my life. I live for hot tea.
Let's go with because the one I've been liking is apple cinnamon.
That is a good one. It is a good one.
Good.
I'm a chamomile queen. It just helps me in amazing ways, and you'll never ever go wrong with green tea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we go. That's they just added some flavors today.
Yeah, but I was gonna have something that had like the nutritional value and purposes for it and all that health stuff, and I just ran out of time. It's National Mentoring Month. I've spent years as a mentor. It is something I believe in, and couldn't imagine my life without doing. And thank God for the people who've been mentors in my life. It's National Personal Self-Defense Awareness Month.
Oh, I like that.
It's National Personal Trainer Awareness Month. My oldest son, my Dwight, is a certified personal trainer, and I am so proud of him. And he actually will be on the show with us next week, actually. And so we're looking forward to that. It's National Polka Music Month.
Oh, polka?
Oh, okay. All right. I thought that would have gotten more response. That's all right.
I don't have anything against polka.
Y'all say y'all are broad in your music love, but y'all didn't love the polka, so okay.
I don't have anything against polka, but that's not something I'm just like, ooh, polka. Like that's not,
I don't care for polka music. Anyway, it's National Poverty in America Awareness Month. That is something I'm actually very serious about and eradicating. It's National Skating Month. I used to love skating when I was younger, and I gained weight, I think is what it was. But I love skating. I love to watch skaters. I love to watch the ATL skaters. There's no skaters like people in Atlanta and Chicago to me. It's National Soup Month. I am such a soup lover. I will take soup in place of a meal any moment of the day, especially a good soup. And I love gourmet soups. I just had some cauliflower cheese soup that was indescribable. I see y'all don't feel me on that. That's fine. I love it. It's National Stalking Awareness Month. It is National Sunday Supper Month. I'm old enough to remember. I would believe my sisters are. My kids certainly aren't. I'm old enough to remember when families sat down for Sunday supper every single. We're from the north, so we don't use the word supper. It's dinner up north. But Sunday dinners every single Sunday, and it is a wonderful time for families to sit down together to recalibrate, to reset, and to just connect. That is not something that is very common anymore in families, and it should be. As much as I say it should be, it's probably not happening in my house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. We didn't sup. We dined.
It's a great thing. It honestly is.
Yeah.
And my son is home with me, and I do try to cook more. It is a time of connection. It is.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole month.
And the whole month.
I wonder how that would have a family dinner.
That's what mom. See what mom say. Y'all can have some suppers.
Have some sups.
Have some sups.
Some sups.
I just thought about that when we get married again. I wonder if he's gonna be asking for some suppers.
That sounds like he's asking for something. Go ahead.
Oh, there's things I haven't done. I haven't been married since 2017. There's things that I've thought about I haven't had or done in so many years. I thought about today when I was looking at my closet. I'm so happy to get ready to enjoy my life and spend time with this person, but I'm thinking I got to give up my closet space. I haven't had to share my closet space in over 5 years. Ready to do that for my wedding space. On my you know what? My makeup is all over my room. It is on every single dresser. My wigs are all over the place, and I'm like so comfortable with that. I have phones. It's got to figure it out. Either you love me or you don't.
Hey, if he loves you, he gonna give you designated makeup space because you need to be able to spread that stuff out.
Listen, he has the most serious OCD. When I tell you, I promise you, Ali is about to get designated everything.
That's what I'm saying, and that way. If it don't have to keep being bunched up and cluttered up somewhere, you could because it's nothing like having to be able to be laid out where you want it. That and it's just there. Oh, that's one of my dreams, just to be able to lay it out.
You know, one of the worst habits I have that I know I'm gonna have to break is like when I'm done doing photo shoots, filming, these eyelashes end up wherever they end up. That's my bedroom, that's the bathroom, that's the end table. Where they land.
That's like I know with wigs. Oops, throw
that
thing off. Throw it
off.
My
shoes almost always stop at that front door.
Yeah.
When I come in the house, and we pray they make it upstairs at some point. They sometimes pile up. It just depends. And those are habits I know I have to break. So we'll see. But it's also National Oatmeal Month. And I'm gonna tell you this. We grew up on oatmeal when we were kids. And there was probably a good 20 years I would not touch oatmeal. I wouldn't eat it. I just couldn't. I had it every day since I was, until I was probably maybe 13, 14.
But see, you were just talking about eating it. I had to not only eat it, but bathe in it.
That's true. I'm so sorry, boo boo.
So it took me a while to get back on the oatmeal train, and I'm still like that with bananas. Like I cannot have a banana because that was like I had to have banana milk and cereal, banana milk with everything, and like so it took me. It's fairly recently at the age I am, so now I'll eat a banana. And it's really only if I feel my blood sugar dropping and I need to eat something. But I'm like, I can do without a banana.
I've probably only just started like enjoying oatmeal in the last probably 2 years.
I'll eat instant before I eat regular. Daddy made some the other day, and I was like, okay, all right, I can eat oatmeal.
And that was like that instant. I've just started making it just recently, and the irony of it is, I make it the way that we ate it growing up.
That's literally how Daddy made it.
Everything.
That's the only reason I liked it, because Daddy made it how he made it, and I was like, okay, all right, I'll eat it. It's giving me the warm nostalgic vibes. I'll eat it.
And I made when I first made it, and I'm almost done with the list, and then I'm gonna move on. When I first made it, I kind of made it regular, and I sat down and I was like, but it's not oatmeal without the raisins.
No, you gotta have raisins. It's so much you gotta do to it.
Yeah, you have to be in the light to get it.
Exactly.
It's also Self-Love Month, Shape Up US Month, Teen Driving Awareness Month, Train Your Dog Month, Thyroid Awareness Month, Unchain a Dog Month. Okay, are we training the dogs or unchaining the dogs? Now, that didn't make any sense to me. Walk Your Pet Month, World Introvert Month, and Wool Ride Rising Star Month. So there's a lot to be celebrated, learned, give yourself to this month. As we come to the end of this week, the 1st of the 7th, remember that it is Diet Resolution Week. Most people have made their diet resolutions and broken their resolutions by now.
Oh, yeah.
So you probably want to start those back over next week. It's National Folic Acid Awareness Week. Dating and life coach Coaches Recognition Week. I can't talk.
What was
National
that one? What was that last one?
Break Week. It's Silent Record Week, which means this is the week where you are good with being in your own silent space. And I promise
I'm singing. I'm so good on that.
Yeah. And just so that you know, the starting today through the 9th, it's Elvis's birthday celebration week. In case y'all needed to get your
When is his birthday?
In case y'all needed to get your celebration, your party stuff out. And
well, I mean, I can rewatch the biopic.
I'll listen to Vegas.
As I said, I might rewatch the biopic again because
I'm over it with you all.
That's what I'm saying.
Elvis.
There's some people that would tell you that stuff ain't real now.
It is not.
That's not the true Elvis lovers. That's
it sure isn't.
No, I'm definitely not that.
That's why I'm watching it.
So I have just a few brain teasers. I'm gonna get into the show. So this is International Brain Teasers Month. So y'all got on y'all thinking caps?
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In a year, there are 12 months. 7 months have 31 days. How many months have 28 days?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, goodness.
It's only February.
It's supposed to end in February?
Sisters. I'm going to ask this one more time.
Okay.
Hey.
In a year, there are 12 months. 7 months have 31 days. How many months have 28 days?
I feel like they're trying to trick me because I feel like I'm trying to be tricked. Because if I answer what they're asking me, I still feel like it's wrong.
So is your final answer February?
It is. I can't bring myself to say because I'm just like I don't know what else month has 28 days.
All of them.
Oh, boo, boo, boo! I don't like that. No, you trying to make me feel like I'm stupid. No, not accepted. Okay, that
Didn't
makes sense.
I ask you people if you had your thinking cap on?
Yeah, but this is the way you said it.
I said it the way it was written.
It was the way it was written. Is the way it was wrong.
It's a brain teaser. It's supposed to tease your brain. Is your brain tickled?
No. No, my brain was not tickled. It was beat up. Continue.
All right, you should get this one. You are a cyclist in a cross-country race. Just before crossing the finish line, you overtake the person in second place. In what place did you finish?
Second.
Let me tell you something. Let me talk to you right now. I'm going to tell you this right now. As a homeschooling parent.
She said, I'm tired of word problems.
And then try to talk to my sisters. And then hear this foolishness. Now, you want to do some quizzes on some movies and some TV shows? We can do that. I don't want to hear it.
Dang, Shani came gangster today. Okay.
Oh, Shani said I'm not here for the foolishness today, y'all. And okay, wait. Okay, so you said right before you finish, you overtake the person that was in second place, right? So you finished.
What place did you finish?
Second.
Huh?
Second.
There you go. See, there you go. You got it.
I hate word problems. I do. At the bottom of my soul.
I feel Shani. I hated them in school.
Oh, I hated word problems.
But the math word problems would make me feel like I was.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, specifically math word problems. Because I was like, no, what are you asking me?
Like 2 trains leave. No.
Nobody gets there. Nobody got there because the trains derailed and everybody died. Leave me alone.
Did you say everybody died?
Yes, because that's how I felt with the word problems. It was like nobody got to where they was going. Everybody went on somewhere else, and they went on and left. Okay, so
all right.
Second place. We got second place.
Chantalee, may I ask you a gingerly question?
You can ask anything you want to ask.
Because it's National Brain Teasers Month, I was planning to do this again when Mom comes on.
Whatever you need to do to get yourself ready, can you please be ready and not
you feel you'll be in a
antagonistic?
better mind space when our mother joins us?
Can you be less antagonistic?
Well, yeah, it's all good. Mm-hmm.
You lying in front of our viewers. Next.
Yeah, she said yeah, sure, whatever. What's the next one?
All right. It's not. I'm not gonna do no more. She done messed up my vibe.
No, I want another one.
You want to do another one? We can do another one. A man pushes his car to a hotel and tells the owner he's bankrupt. Why?
I thought you were gonna give me a good one, not a ridiculous.
That is a good one.
A man pushes his car to a hotel and tells he's bankrupt. Why?
When you get the answer, you're gonna get what is the good one.
Okay, a man pushes his car to a hotel and tells him he's bankrupt. Why? Because Renee is a butt.
Because he has to stay at the hotel now. Because he's bankrupt. Because he's being indicted. Like,
I'm being indicted! I'm being indicted!
Where would a man push his car to a hotel?
What?
Push his car to a hotel. Why would a man be pushing his car? Because it's broke down? You put it in neutral?
Is he morally bankrupt? Oh my God.
Is he morally bankrupt?
Oh, I'm gonna be so mad at you when you give me the answer. I'm gonna be so
You
mad
are.
and get it.
I promise you are. But that's okay.
And I know it's always the phrasing. A man pushes his car.
I tried to give you a clue by asking you the question again.
Okay, one more time, go.
I asked you, where would a man push his car to a hotel? That's the best I can do.
Where would a man push his car to a hotel? That's not a question.
Now she gonna question my answer. Okay.
Pushes. I don't.
And she put on lipstick, just as calm. Ooh. You got anything, Shani?
You got the
I
answer?
think I'm out.
Yeah.
It sounds like poverty to me.
I know. Cause I'm like, I don't know if because the thing is, I don't know if he's saying the guy that pushes the car is bankrupt or the hotel place is bankrupt.
The guy that pushes the car was bankrupt.
Well, don't agree you bankrupt because you ain't got no way to pay nothing. So I don't know.
You want the answer? Would you like the answer, please?
Go ahead.
Because he's playing Monopoly.
That's some frickle frackle. Finny waggle. Blippity blap bloop. Mickey Macky Mook. I'm trying to say what I'm thinking, so I'm going to say a bunch of words so we don't get in trouble. Oh, no. Do not agree. That is some messy mess. That is some bips and skips.
Okay, let's try this one. Let me redeem myself.
What website are you getting these from? So
I'm not telling you.
She getting them from ReneeDon'tLikeHerSister.com.net.org.
I'm going to report that website. Mike Zuckerberg about it.
How far can a deer run into the woods?
How was that a better one?
I've been hearing this one since I was a kid.
How is that a better one? How far can a deer run into the woods? As far
away as he can get away from man, because that's what messed up the forest.
Oh Lord, y'all overthinking it.
Okay, ask the question again.
Came into the forest, into the woods, and killed Bambi's mama.
And it started the whole circle of life.
How far can a deer run into the woods?
What?
We're gonna have to move on with our show. Y'all making my head hurt.
You making my head hurt. You the one got the answer. So a deer can run.
I hope that our parents are listening to how you're treating their oldest child.
Boo. They can run. I mean, what?
However far they run, it's got to be faster than that book.
Who said anything about them being shot? I just said running.
That's why they run it. That's why they run it.
As soon as they get into the wood, I don't know.
Till they get to the thicket. You know they gotta get to the thicket.
They gotta get to the thicket.
They gotta get to the thicket.
They run halfway because then they're running out of the woods. That's an old one.
I had to stop myself because I was I was about to say finishing that statement was about to be real not family friendly. I just cut it off. That was some place.
All right, we're gonna do one more and then we're gonna be done.
Is it a real one?
They all have been real ones.
Fake news.
Go ahead and do me a favor and post the name of that website.
Talk to everybody. They'll go to this website. They don't care about you.
I'm gonna be like, dear Mark Zuckerberg.
I am a white woman.
Don't forget to say in America.
Oh.
In America.
Come on. Let's go with this new one.
You're gonna get this one. I believe in you. You're gonna get this one. You're in a cabin and it's pitch black. You have one match on you. Which do you light first? The newspaper, the lamp, the candle, or the fire?
Say that again.
You're in a cabin. You're in a cabin and it's pitch black. You have one match on you. Which do you light first? The newspaper, the lamp, the candle, or the fire?
You take the newspaper and you stick it in the fire. So that you can light the
candle and the lamp.
You're gonna need to say that, Matt. You don't never know.
You gotta light as much as you can. Yeah. I was gonna say you light the campfire first, the fire first. Then you can light the candle, and then you can light the lamp.
Why would you light a fire if it's a fire? Then it's already firing up.
But no, it's no fire. I'm saying you light it first.
Oh, you talking about create a fire?
Like you put it in the baby. Sir.
Been a little Rick Jamie right here. Rick Jamie right here.
And it's they probably gonna be like, you like this, you can like that, and you can like that, and you can like this.
You better not be singing something if they're gonna be charging us
copyrights.
No royalty, no rights on it.
He didn't get to the coldest ice pipe.
Okay.
All right. What's the answer?
Shawnee said it, but then she redacted it. The match.
Wait, what?
How you gonna light the fire if you don't light the match first?
Oh, I hate when they phrase it like that. I need some stuff to throw. I'm throwing stuff right now in the room.
Alright, I'm gonna give y'all a break. We'll come back to this in a couple weeks.
I'm gonna give me this website and something.
No.
Yes, I'm gonna need some brain teasers. When is mom coming on? Was it 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Is it a month with 28 days? So I'll get ready for this
Next week is National Time Consciousness Week. Are you in a mind frame to talk to us about that?
I don't know.
Well, she might need to calm down first.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. What you asking me?
You good now?
Yeah, I had to reset.
Do my brain teasers earlier in the show next time.
I had to reset. I'm ready. What you asking me?
It's National Time Consciousness Week this week, and you have the information on that. That is the 1st through the 7th.
That brain teaser had my spirit all wriggle.
Really? It got me feeling warm and fuzzy.
Did it? You had all the answers. Why is it not? Okay. It's not pulling up. And I had it written down. Come on. Yeah, some brain teasers messed me up.
You want me to move to Shawnee?
Yeah, let me pull. Yeah.
Love yourself.
I know. Lazy. Cause I'm trying to pull it up and it's like, nope.
As we mentioned earlier, this is Self-Love Month, and Chantalise has a little bit more information on what it means to love yourself and tips to expound on that this month and get into loving yourself.
Yeah, that's why. Do y'all ever watch Family Guy when they cut to Ollie and he was doing the weather and he say something real fast? That's why I just said, love yourself.
Yeah. That was so funny.
But yeah, for it's real basic to me in that self-love, it can look however it needs to look to you, because you are unique. So loving yourself might be unique. It might not be a bubble bath or a shopping trip. It might be giving yourself time. It might be, whatever. So this is a real quick message just to find and understand define what loving yourself means to you, and make sure that you're doing that. Stay aware of what that means to you and make sure that you're doing that this month.
Awesome. Angie, are you queued up? Angelique?
My notes are
if not, we can put the bottom of the show and we can just go into the show topic.
My notes.
Oh, you know what I do? I'll just go ahead and tell me what that site was so I can go to that site and then ask some more.
No, we going to go to the site. Our topic for this week is goal setting. And again, it's the beginning of the year. This is the time of year when I think most people are setting their goals for themselves, for their businesses. And so we just want to get into it. I was on the clock to do a little bit earlier, but we got a little bit off, and that's fine. If people would have gotten the brain teasers earlier, we would have been a little bit ahead of schedule, but it is what it is.
I felt something with that added light.
Anyway, I just want to get into a little bit about what some of our goals are and what it means to you to set goals. So the first thing is to remember that this is National New Year Resolution for Businesses Month. All three of us are business owners, entrepreneurs. And so I just want to first start by all of us talking about what all of our businesses are, starting with Chantalise.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Where all of us explain what all of our businesses are.
Oh, okay. I am a brand strategy coach, and I coach women through the process of creating their brands. That's the messaging. That is the design part, and that's also the launching of it. And I use astrology to help them understand what their purpose, gifts, and talents are, and really who they are, so they can make that in alignment with their brand and reach the audience that's most in alignment with who they are.
Awesome. Angelique?
What was the question? Because I had to move my headphones. What was what our
is your business? Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna cap that one yet because I gotta still monetize it. But the current one is a business that is for relaxation and meditation. I started a new YouTube channel for that called Rainy Days and Nights, and it's just to help with sleep, insomnia, meditation, relaxation, just getting yourself in a calmer state with just weather sounds, music, relaxing sounds, healing sounds, things like that. So that's where I am right now. The other one, once it's monetized, I'll talk about that one because this year is nothing else for free. is my mantra for that one.
Mm-hmm. So you on that? So I actually am what some people call a serial entrepreneur. I have more than one business and brand. I am a life coach, but I also am. I have a business. This is what a fighter looks like, which meets the needs of cancer survivors and the American Cancer Society, my tongue is super tied up after doing those brain teasers, states that once you have been diagnosed with cancer, you automatically become a survivor.
Yes.
A lot of times people believe that you're a survivor once you go into remission, but you are surviving from the day that you start fighting. So I deal with all survivors, predominantly female survivors, to encourage them to be fearless, fierce, and fabulous while they fight. My job is to coach and to encourage women to continue to live their dreams and to embrace this life while we're still here. And so I launched my organization as a brand and as both a movement to just inspire and encourage women. And it has been an incredible journey, but I believe in sustain. It's been a wild ride. Just to meet different women, hear their stories, and be a part of their journeys, and some of them even their families. In the last 6 years that I have had this amazing organization. I am also the CEO and visionary for Black Diamond Productions, which was birthed just out of close to 30 years of being an event planner, a event promoter, concert promoter, anything that came together with putting things together, creating things as far as conferences, workshops, seminars, meetings, all of that. It was just like, it's time to go ahead and make it my business and be the person who can do it. And it was Bold Productions for years, but I wanted to rebrand it. And so I rebranded it as Black Diamond. And this month also is Black Diamond month as well. And Black Diamond, first of all, diamond is my birthstone, but I went with Black Diamond because Black Diamond is the most powerful, the strongest, and the most expensive diamond. And baby, I am priceless.
Hello. Bippity bop bop.
And if I'm gonna have a name, I have a name that people won't ever forget.
That's how you brand.
Black Diamond Productions has been going for several years, but rebranded last year. And I'm so proud of that's my baby and all it has done over the years. I'm also artistic director of PD Community Arts Team, which has been in existence since 2012, actually. So this is 2000. I'm sorry, 2000. Well, yeah, 2012. But the team that exists primarily has been 2013, 2000. No, let me redact that. 2013 is when we started. So this is 10 years for the original musical. The
Wow.
actual bringing of the company started in 2014. We did Restored. So it's been 9 years for the actual founding of PD Community Arts Team, which most people affectionately call PD Cat, but the actual brainchild, the first one, which was Make Us One, started 10 years ago. So I have been doing musicals and productions with them in these last 10 years. And we've been on hiatus, but I am proud to say that I have put pen to paper and am now officially writing our next production. And Angelique, would you believe that in these years we've actually done 10 productions?
No.
I was counting and I didn't realize we'd done that many. So
no,
I'm excited to see what happens and relaunching and what happens when we get back on the stage. For all the things that I do, I live for the stage, and I think the stage lives for me. So but all of my companies all connect, and they all complement each other, and they all speak to my personality and who I am, and they allow me to do what I think I do best, which is talk and be in front of people. And I spent years trying to change that about myself, and it just is what I'm made to do. So having said that, I wanted to read, we're going to use the word goal a lot, but the actual definition of a goal is the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or a desired result. And that is what we're setting and encouraging you to set today for your business and then for yourself. So I'm going to ask, and you all just jump in as you will, what did you see specifically for your business or your brand? Like Angelique said, she's kind of got one business established, another one she's finishing something on, and I think we're all kind of restructuring different things. Mm-hmm. What do you see for your brand for this year?
You want to go, Shadi? You want to go
first? For me, it's still more brand awareness and really focusing on that, and raising prices.
Yeah.
For me, it is I need to recreate my website. I need to raise certain prices and set other prices. I have to I want to encompass everything so it's all kind of one umbrella, one big company, and then everything's kind of like a sub company, so that because I had everything all over the map, and I want to make it so it's easy that when a client comes to me, that they may come to me for one service and say, oh, well, she does this and she does that, and so when they leave, they may leave. Obviously, it's upselling, right? So they may leave wanting and getting more, and so that works better for me. So I've spent years creating my own websites. It's something I can do. It's not something I'm great at. This year I'm paying someone to do my website and creating it so I can just look better. And the other thing for me is merchandising.
I would say with this year is building the new brand, and getting that financially and monetize, going forward with that, because it's mainly a YouTube channel, and figuring out how to monetize the other brand that's established but it was never monetized. And also making sure I monetize being a model before I start going back into that field.
I thought about that too.
Because I've been asked about that. It's like I don't want to go back into that for free anymore. So it's just really making sure I monetize my worth and my time is my goal for 2023. And it's not looking at it as I want to say overcharging, but being, I don't use that word, but just making sure that my worth and my time is paid for.
Mm-hmm.
And not doing anything for free unless I feel it's worth to do that for free. That's really where I am in this year, because it's I have three things out there. So it's just like I just really want to just make sure all of those three things are making money for me, because they need to be, so that's where I am.
That's awesome. So I think the next question I would ask is, what do you see for yourself? And before we move on, we want to encourage our listeners to please also join in the conversation and leave your comments or comment as we're having a discussion, and let us know what your goals are for your business or for yourself. Mm-hmm. And to answer the questions as we're having the chat. We want this to be an engaged conversation, and join in with us as we are in this topic. Mm-hmm. What do you see for yourself for this year? So what are your personal goals?
You want to go first, or should I, Shani?
You can go ahead.
This year, outside of what I'm already building with my new businesses, I went back because I was doing some stuff, and I saw 2 stories that I started writing, short type stories, and I want to complete those this year. Mm-hmm. I need to get back in that mindset, because I do like writing, and I fell off on that. So I want to complete those 2, and I know if I complete those 2, it'll trigger more for me. Mm-hmm. So I really want to complete those 2, and then keep that momentum, and continue to write more things this year on a regular basis. Obviously not every single day necessarily, but just a more regular basis. Continue writing, because I know that helps me using my imagination and creativity in that helps me with a lot of other things, because it just opens my mind. So I want to just really get into completing those 2 stories and continuing to write. Don't give it up, even if I'm doing other things. Bless Jonathan.
Andy said, bless you. For me, it's I want to launch a lot more. I see myself launching a lot more, and doing more groups.
What do you mean by groups?
Like Facebook groups.
Oh, okay.
I want to do more advocacy for cancer awareness. I think when you're someone who has been diagnosed with multiple cancers, I want to show solidarity and stand with all of especially the ladies who are in all the categories that I represent, and do as much as I can for them. And I hear all the time, and a lot of groups I'm in, we hear the statement all the time, but you don't look sick. I don't mean that I don't feel sick.
When I hear people say that, I can't stand
it. And most of us can't stand it either. It doesn't feel as good as it sounds. And so But I get that I probably look better than some, some women who have ovarian cancer or breast cancer or pancreatic cancer or lung cancer or MS. So or leukemia at different times. So even if seeing me gives them courage or gives them hope or their families hope, then I want to be the face that, or when they hear and see this is what a fighter looks like, it's like, that's the face that, and that was always the point that, not that I think I'm so awesome, but that was usually my hair is purple, right? And when I first started purple, it was literally for my own sanity, but it quickly became its own brand, and to the point that I almost feel guilty when I don't wear purple hair, because people begin to know me as the woman with the purple hair. My goddaughter, my little one was here last week, and she's 4, and she said, "Where's your purple hair?" Was so insulted that I wouldn't put my purple wig on. And so that when people see the woman with the purple hair and the lady that's doing this is what if I look like that, she cares. And so that's what I want to do, more advocacy and be more present. I really, really want to do a lot more with children's hospitals. When I think about the days when I'm in just unbelievable pain, that a child feels that's heartbreaking to me. And I can tell a doctor what I'm feeling. A child that is not necessarily able to do that because they don't know all the right words, and a baby for sure can. So I want to know all the places to go to do that, and just to be as big a help. And the other thing that I think on the flip side of that is I just want to have more fun. I realized crossing over into this year, I've done so much work. I've never in my adult life taken time to make fun a priority. And I will be 45 in 3 months. It's a priority for me now. It's not that I'm so old, but I feel like I've gotten too old for that, for that to be my story. And I feel like I'm young enough to change it, and it be good, and kids are grown. So the good thing is that I'm not, hauling around diaper bags and backpacks and no offense to Shawnee, I just thought, man, her kids are little, she's doing that. But
no, they're not that little no more.
but I've done it all. I did it, and my kids were stair steps too. So I did. I joke all the time. I think the first 6 years of having kids was I just used to throw all my stuff in a diaper bag, because you carry a diaper bag in a purse. I didn't have a life. It didn't feel like a woman much. I was just the carrier. So I want to vacation. I want to travel. I want to have fun with the man that I love. I want to spend time with my kids. And I just want to do the things that I want to do. When I want to do it, I want to be able to do it. And that's my goal for this year.
It's a good goal.
All right. So I want to ask y'all, what is the importance of having goals or goal setting? I think a lot of times people kind of jump into every year or each new phase and you just do it, and you just kind of hope it works because you just have a good idea or even worse, a good feeling, or a good vibe. Even maybe you have plans, but they're not solid plans, because plans have to have a start, a middle, and an ending. It would explain it to somebody. And so why is it important to have goals, whether they're business or both professional and personal? Why do you think it's important? And why is it important for you?
For me, I have issues with just like a lot of issues with depression, and so having a goal all the time, it's like it keeps you always looking forward, keeps you always having being able to work towards something. It makes yeah, that's one of the main things for me. And plus, it's really easy for me to get distracted with a lot of things. So a goal helps me focus.
Me too.
Yeah. I know for me personally, I have to be careful I don't procrastinate, because that is a thing I constantly have to be aware of, because I will, but it's not something that I know I have to do, like I can't avoid, like I have to be careful of that. So I put it this way, I'm good at setting goals for myself. If somebody else kind of does it, it's not always doesn't work. But like, once I set those goals, it's okay. I want to do this day, and then I might bring one person in and be like, just kind of make sure I stay on this goal. This is the goal I want to do. But that's kind of how I know for certain things I need to set. That I have to set goals, or else they just won't get done. Because
right.
And if I know it's something that doesn't have any consequences if it doesn't happen, I'll keep putting it off. So.
Right. I think it's important to set goals because, kind of like Angelique said, I thought that was really good. If you're a sole proprietor and it's just you, well, if only you know, then you're also your own person who knows when it doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. So you have to set a consequence, for when that doesn't happen, when you don't reach that goal. I think that some goals need to be public and some need to be private. So some things need to be, even if it's just as simple as this is a coming soon, or a look out for this. Now everybody knows I got to meet that. And I will tell you, and this may not work for everybody. I will tell you, for me, because I can be guilty of procrastination too, I have to do that for myself. I have to do this so that I say, okay, now there's eyes watching me. Now I either have to meet that or be ready to explain why I didn't do it. Mm-hmm. And part of that also becomes, what you're doing and how many people are following you. So I have a lot of people to follow. The other thing becomes, goal setting is important when you're someone like me, and all of my businesses reach and do different things, right? So my businesses require and deal a lot with other people. So when I'm doing a production or an event, a conference, an expo, it's a lot of people that are counting on me to get something rolled out by a certain date, get a play on the stage, a musical on the stage, get this conference done by this date. And people are needing, for the hotel dates, and those have deadlines, and travel information, and then vendors are needing information, and dancers need stuff. And it always amazes me when someone says this to me, and Chantilly has done event planning too, when someone says to me, oh, that's so easy, I could get that done in a couple weeks.
Do it then.
Great. And especially when they're trying to duplicate something that was really excellent. You have no clue all of the minor details that go into a big event, much less all the details that go into a simple event.
Mm-hmm.
So, because, this is my absolute specialty. So when people do that, there's certain things people can say to me and I just brush it off. But when you do that, you come from a heart. And so I'm going to start drilling you. So then it's just, okay, so how you plan on doing the PR? How you plan to get the word out? If you're only just put out posts on Facebook, it's dead in the water. You can't even guarantee the people who live in your house are coming, or the people that because most of the time, the people who are not supporting you are the people closest to you. So who's coming? Exactly. Who's going to know about it?
Exactly.
How are you getting the word out? And the other thing to know about social media, I'm probably about to, I need to stop this before I can get to class. The thing to know about social media though is you need to know your algorithms, because a lot of people really don't get this. When you put a Facebook post out, probably only, they say between 5 to 7, maybe 10% of your Facebook posts, people on your Facebook page see that.
10%, yeah.
It's very low.
But a lot of people really believe if you got 3,000 followers, all 3,000 people of those people saw that. No. Are you kidding me? And especially if they have thousands of followers. So they got the same time feed that you got. Yeah. Which means there's stuff pouring through there all day long. So they didn't see it.
No. I don't even see the stuff that both of you all post all the time.
Right.
That's, you know, like y'all post, like the stuff y'all be like, did you see my post? No.
I know not to even ask that, and I hate.
But I'm saying, I'm saying, we're close. I'm saying we're close. We have a direct connection. We're, you know, it does. I'm like, no, I didn't see it.
Most of the time, if you didn't tag me, I'm never gonna see it. And I hate to be tagged, but I get it because and the only people who really tag me are as busy as I am.
Yeah, like I'll post some stuff and with no tag. And some stuff I'll post, even if it's just like I'm watching this movie and I'm gonna tag the people I want to be like, I'm watching this movie so y'all can see about it, that I'm watching it. Like, but it's just like you can't just assume everybody you're friends with is gonna see everything you said. You post. That's not how Facebook works at all.
No. But my biggest point is if you're like, I'll use PD Community Arts Team because Angelique is here. So when I say, okay, today's January, if I'm going to say we're going to do an anniversary production, which puts us at September, we're going to put us back on the stage in September. That means over the next 9 months, that's a goal, not just for Leah, that's a company goal. That means that automatically becomes Angelique's goal as a lead choreographer. That becomes Dwight's goal. That trickles down. It becomes
we got to start posting no later than June.
It's once so as the artistic director set that goal, then everybody who's under me just got a goal in their departments.
Yep.
And I have to, but that's my first goal. Then I have sub goals under that, because there's promotional goals and fundraising goals, and you know there's wardrobe and all these, you know, they have their jobs, but I have to keep meeting my goals for them to meet their goals.
Yep.
Not until we're on the stage till the curtain closes.
Exactly.
And we're out of the building.
Exactly.
That's just how that works. We're not done on the stage. No. Get done. And let me tell you, stuff happens during the show.
And my goal as a choreographer is more connected to your goal than anybody. Right. Because once you know I want this day, everything I do has to be done before a certain month. So it's like it's you know, it's people don't understand goal. It's like goals when you're in a group is different than goals as a personal one.
Right.
It's different what you need to do. So you know, because if you said I want an anniversary show and it needs to be done by September, well, I need to be done with major choreography by April, May, at the latest. I need to start teaching in May. I need to be done by July. I need to be tweaking by August.
I have to hand you the music by February.
Yep. I need to be by August. It's all just tweaking and perfection. Costuming needs to be all done no later than August 1st.
I was gonna say, but then that connects you to somebody else, because once I hand you the music, then that automatically means I have to sit down with the people who help me pick out all the clothes.
Yes.
And then we sit down. I used to do everything myself. That's a lot when I'm writing and doing other things. I sit down with those people, and then we figure out, number one, how much do we want to spend for this production, because each dancer buys their own clothes.
And so how much I gotta tell you what people I wanted, what numbers. Everybody's not gonna be in everything. I might.
There's meetings we have all together, but
yeah,
I'm just saying move forward. Like,
yeah,
there's different things that happen, and number one, I go back. Once I set the date, the number one thing becomes where.
Yep. Of course.
Before I talk to anybody, because that's going to be everybody's question.
Yeah, because I can choreograph and have everything done in March, but if we don't know where we're going, what's the point?
Because you may have to change it. Because if it's indoor, and then I say because we've talked about doing an outdoor show, and then I say if we're going to do outdoor, you may have to change everything.
Exactly. And a choreographer, I didn't know where we're going, because I'm like, okay, as a choreographer, where are we going? Where am I going? Yeah. What building? What does the venue look like? What does the spacing look like? So if I'm thinking we're going to be in a school, it's one thing. If I think we're going to be in another place, it's another thing. We're going to be outdoors, it's another type of choreography. So I'm like, it's a lot of different stuff that goes into that.
So goal setting is important for business, and it's important. I don't want to get off on that, and that's actually something that we can talk about on another show. How to put together. I think a great topic would be how to put together a production.
Exactly. It's fun, stressful, but fun.
I live for it. I live for the adrenaline. I'll sleep for 3 days afterwards, but I live.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's fun, stressful, but fun.
What I was saying was, it's a different type of goal setting when it's just your company. This is what a fighter looks like. It's just me. It's just my brand. So whatever happens with that, that's really all me in my head and what I set out to do. Exactly. I will tell you, the more eyes that have become on me, again, I use the same template with when it's something major I want to do. I do public posts, and different things to keep me accountable, or I will tell somebody else. But it's a lot of writing. It's a lot of preparation. It's a lot that goes into it just to make sure that you're staying on top of it and checking those things off. But when you're doing things that either involve other people or other people are accountable to you, you cannot have a business and not have goals, or it does not work.
It's not possible.
It does not work. I could not have PD Community Arts team and not have goals. What are they going to do?
Your camera shining?
So I just wanted to give those kind of different explanations without getting too far off into the left field. So here's a question: how do we manifest our goals for the year?
I believe it. When the basics of manifesting is making sure that your thoughts, your mouth, and your actions are all in alignment. And so that means making sure that you believe that you can reach your goals, and you can start with, when you set your goals, everybody says you have to do the SMART goals. And there's depending on what version of SMART that you do, it's already built in that you make sure that your goals are achievable. That's the A. And then some of them, the R is realistic. So that's two different spots in the SMART process where you can check in with yourself and be honest. Is this goal achievable? Is it realistic? And Daddy always talks about, having faith, but knowing the level that your faith is. Because if you there's a difference between setting goals, like they say, that are a little scary, that are a little challenging, and that's cool, that's good. But when you set them so big that they're unrealistic, that's really self-sabotage. Like, do you really believe that you can do that? If you do, or it might be a stretch, that's good. But if it's so big, it's really self-sabotage. But make sure that it's if you want to manifest, make sure that your faith level matches your goals.
I agree. Yeah.
Good.
I believe also when you're manifesting, you have to, for me, I know for me, you have to see it, you have to think it, believe in it, then you have to see it, and then you have to say it, uh, and there's a message that, well, Daddy used to preach some years ago: just see, take, and keep. And and it's being able to see it, then take it, and then keep it. But you start with what you envision, what you can see, and then what you can. Once you see it and believe in it, then knowing that you can have it, and once you know that, then you make that come to pass. And so for me, once I have thought about something, I mean, like when I'm living it, eating it, breathing it, writing about it, researching it, it's like getting inside of it to where you can. Mom talked about this last year when you're literally, both mom and dad did, experiencing it to where you can smell it, you can feel like you're there, like you can't think about anything else. Well, you kind of don't have any other choice but to manifest that, and and that goes good and bad. But we're talking about our goals, because God knows people can do that in anger. But I, like back to like the musical, and that happens for me with my musicals all the time. When I'm producing my musicals, when I first start with like what the theme is, usually I get the theme before I get anything, the name of the theme of it, and before like I get when it's going to be anything, I may take 2 or 3 months and just meditate on what that is and see where it's going to be, the stage is going to be on, what it's going to look like. Listening to the music before I say one word to another person, except maybe Angelique and my kids. And I'll be talking about it. I remember when we first did the first show, and a friend of mine said, "The only thing you talking about is restored." And I said, "Because that's the only thing that matters to me."
No, the first one,
that show was phenomenal.
That's all we talked about.
When you're married, you say something to your husband's probably going to say, "Hey, what about this? Or you mentioned this to me." But when you just sit in this room by yourself, in this house by yourself, who's holding you accountable? And so I even realized, at least for me, and that may not be some else's truth, that in the beginning I needed the break because I was married to somebody who that wasn't good for me. But I got way too comfortable in my own space and in my own head, and so which is not what I'm walking into. He constantly, and I need someone who constantly asks, "Okay, so what's going on?" But it's only because he honestly wants to help. And I think you need to know what. I think it's important when you're choosing a partner that you choose a partner too that is beneficial to your success professionally and personally. And I think sometimes it's a side thing, but not. I think sometimes and I think Chantalie can attest to this. I think sometimes women pick men who will keep them from being accountable and growing, because it's easier to be comfortable where you are than someone who's going to push you. And I realized even in my life I did that. So I made such a drastic change, even in my relationship, because I just want to succeed and be my best, But my short-term goals personally tend to be 30 to 60 days. Those are the best for me. 90 sometimes can be too long. It just depends on what it is I'm working on. And my long-term goals are never longer than 6 months. But usually my long-term are like 4 months, because I'm a person who's such a rapid doer. I don't need that much time.
What you do, you 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's not going to work for you, because your stuff got to be done in less time than that.
Well, just how I am in life, because when I want to get something done, I just get it done.
Exactly.
But even when you like kind of going for job interviews and people will ask you like, "What's your 5-year goal?"
I hate that question.
I hate that question because I'm the type of person
that's a long ways away.
You know,
honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I have lied in interviews because I'm like, I know I'm like what they want to hear and what is the truth. I don't care what nobody says. Everybody like, just tell them the truth. That's a lie. I usually lie because I'm just like, I know what you want to hear. I'm not gonna sit here and.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, when I worked at Assurant, I gave him my truth, and he told me I got the job based on my truth, and my truth was because I think I never knew my truth until then. I was at a different place in my life, and that was when I started working at Assurant. PD Cat was like, we were traveling, we were constantly doing production.
We were very busy during that time.
I said to him, 5 years from now, I fully intend to be touring with my production company and probably even having another group. And I don't even know that I will be here in Florence, I meant. But, I just said, I know that we will have a touring show happening in 5 years. And had I not gotten as sick as I did and different things happening, I fully believe that would be where we would have been 5 years out. But I said to him, but as long as I'm here, I'm here. And I will never be the type of person who just walks off a job. So I said, when I see my life changing, I am woman enough and professional enough to come to you and sit down and talk to you and tell you that this is where my life is shifting to. And we will figure how I end my time here together. And he was like, that's all I need to know. Because he said to me, a person that would be as passionate about their goals, their personal goals as you were, I knew would be just as good as an employee for me while you were here. And I was. But I think prior to that, like when I worked for Blue Cross and ADB, I don't know. I don't even remember what I said because they all asked the same question. I don't even remember.
They
what
really
I said.
do. They really
I
do.
probably just said be a good employer. So just to say whatever rigmarole that you say, because I not only say that because I don't know that I had an honest answer at that point because I was still finding who I was. I hadn't found that thing yet. So I just know I remembered that with Assurant because if he would have just said that's not good enough, I would have walked out of there with my head up high and just saying I get it.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't have felt bad about it because I also wouldn't have redacted my answer.
Yeah. And people didn't understand. You might luck out like you did with a HR person that's like, okay, I want that, but you could have a person that just wants to buy the book, give me the answer that sounds good. So you really... I
think you can, if you've worked enough, you can gauge that HR person too.
Yeah, but I'm saying you really, you don't... If you don't know, you don't know. Because some people haven't been working long enough to know. So...
and I think when you work in a place like a call center and things like that, I think you're rolling the dice.
Call center, I would say, especially if you're new,
make them happy.
Make
them happy.
Give them the answer they want. Because call center has high turnover. They don't want to hear about your dream goals.
I would say make them happy, make McDonald's happy. When you're going into fast food, please make them happy because, honey, they can replace you for the day's over with. And what I did at ADP, my job was to help them get those people replaced. So, make them happy, but be true to yourself. But when you're doing a specialized position, then you be honest.
Yeah, you'll know the longer you're in the work.
And then sometimes trial and error, honey. You just figure it on out.
Hello.
I have not gotten every job I applied for. That's for sure. So the next question is: let me ask you all. What will change for you from 2022, if anything, maybe it won't, going forward to be more productive and successful? So what lessons have you learned, do you feel, or what do you see that needs to be tweaked or changed from last year to this year?
One of the main things for me is delegating more in my house and delegating more in the business. Like, I will get a virtual assistant this year, like for real.
Oh,
I have to. There's really no other way for me. I have to. So that's another thing. That's one thing that's gonna change. Stepping more into my CEO energy.
Not your CEO
energy.
Because
you said that strong too. She said, "I will get a virtual assistant."
No, shoot, like right now. Yeah,
that's a good thing. It's a good thing when you know that, and I know it took me close to 20 years to be comfortable to delegate authority, because for me, I felt like if I wasn't doing it, it couldn't be done right, and that just breaks you in the end, and it doesn't make you your best self. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We all got the muddy. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. What was the question again?
That's my dad's mom. What will you change from 2022, if anything, going forward to be more productive or successful?
Using my calendars more, writing down what I want to do daily, weekly, monthly, etc. Just keeping more track of what I want to do, because I'm doing way more. Well, it started in 2022, but definitely in 2023. I'm doing way more than I was. Like, I have my regular job. I have the stuff I do for church. I have our show. I have the editing for our dad show. I have the stuff I'm doing for my own channel. So it's like really just making sure I stay organized, because I found out if I do not do that, stuff is just not happening. So it's like really just scheduling what I want to do on what days and months, and so and sticking to that, because I just being organized, it helps. Like I'm doing too much now to just wing it. You know, I can't wing it. I can't be like, no. Like I have to know what days am I gonna create the video, even if I don't export them, but just have them ready to get ready. What days I'm gonna do this? What days am I gonna do this? It's just I have to really get that organization there. So it's really just doing the stuff that's honestly what our mom taught us, and sticking her thing is she organized. Use your calendars. Use your notebooks. Use your write down.
She's probably clapping right now.
She is. She's somewhere clapping. It's really just staying organized like that, you know. It's just really just sticking to scheduling out my weeks, and it'll help, because it does help, because I'm doing too much to wing it now. I honestly am. I have to really schedule my entire week out at this point.
No winging.
Can't do it anymore. Nah. No more winging. It's just, I thought I could still, and then because I didn't, and I was like, no, I have to schedule. I have to know this day I'm doing this. So just really just knowing that I'm an adult and have to be an adult.
Adulting ain't always fun, but it's absolutely necessary.
It is, and it helps. It does. It's so much easier for me to do that. It honestly, takes it's so much. If I really do that, it's so much better. It really honestly is. It takes if I schedule, then I know what I'm doing and where, here, there, and other, and it's just I just need to do it, because it does help. It does help. So.
They're not gonna throw our food away. We paying for it.
Hello.
Oh, my bad.
Don't you throw that food away. Don't you throw that. Your mama said don't throw that food away.
Oh gosh, we're gonna have 20 minutes of this show we can use.
They keep coming in here talking to me. I was talking to Jonathan. That's what I don't call my kids the N-word. Just like that. All right.
I think for me, what will change from last year to this year is I kind of am between two different worlds because of my health. So I I struggle when I get these moments of energy when I can do a lot. But my problem becomes when I do a lot, I will overdo it. And then that pushes me back into the bed or the hospital. And then that sets me behind. And so it's learning to kind of set a steady pace for myself. So I definitely need to, number one, I have, believe it or not, I have calendars everywhere. So the calendars, appointment books everywhere, and using them because I have different kinds. And I actually prefer to write. So I have probably three different ones in my phone that are all synced up, linked to my tablet, my laptop. You should have heard my goddaughters when they were here last week, and everything was pinging off the rails, and they were just like, "What is that?" And
reminder for something.
Yeah, and stuff gets reminders go off constantly.
Exactly.
And then I have to run through the house, and I'm shutting off my phone, then the tablet, then the laptop. And at one point stuff was going to my TV too, so I was like, after a while, I couldn't hardly watch TV.
Yeah.
But I just do better writing stuff in the actual old-fashioned appointment book. But then I'm a type of person who keeps finding new things, and this is better. So I have like 3, so it's kind of like finding the right one. But anyway, to get to that, and it's even like I don't need to put 20 things to do in one day. I have 5 things, and those things get done. That's good enough, and we'll deal with tomorrow. You know, sometimes when Michael will text me and he's like, okay, what's on the agenda for today? And, you know, I'll get through texting and he's like, yeah, that's a whole lot. And I can tell in his brain, he's probably thinking she's not gonna get half of that done. No. But he's so supportive. It's like, you know, I'm here if you need me, you know. He's going to his job to do his one thing he did not one thing, he does a lot in his job, but he's got his career he does, you know. So and there are days when I knock a lot of it out, and then there's days when I can barely get one thing done, but I'm proud of that one thing I got done. It may have taken me hours to get it done. So for me, it is, I think, being more honest with myself, being more steady in what I'm doing. Because I think too, when I get overwhelmed, and I know Mom will hear this and attest to this, since I've been a little girl, when things are too overwhelming, I'm going to bed. It's too much.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do.
It's like exhausted. So when I see, sometimes I look at that to-do list and I'm like, gosh, that is too freaking long. I'm gonna fix me something to eat and go lay down. And my mind says I'm coming back to it, but you know, whether that's my body or whatever, it just doesn't happen. So, and then the other thing for me, I think coming from last year into this year to be more productive and successful is switching my circle. So much of my circle for me for years has been familiar and comfortable because it was easier. And but that's not always the circle that's naturally drawn to me. The circle that naturally draws to me is professional people and very goal-oriented people, and people who are goers and doers and movers and shakers. But I tend to push back to make room for my friend, the person who's, you know, just getting started, and I feel like I'll always be that person that gives somebody a chance and help somebody. But I'm ready to be at the top where I was always meant to be. And I feel like I've put that off for so long, telling myself, I think after the message that Daddy taught, I think 2 weeks ago, it really hit me. I've spent most of my life telling me I didn't deserve really to be as successful as I probably could have been 20 years ago, or even as wealthy as I could have been 20 years ago, for a myriad of different reasons. But I let that die in 2022, because I know how smart I am. I know how intelligent I am. I know how driven I am. I know what I can get done. I mean, if you just ask me what I'm good at or what I can do, I don't stutter on who I am, what I can do, or what I can provide. I'm capable of getting done, and I don't struggle with that personally. But I've allowed other people to make me struggle with that. And so I left that all behind me last year, and I buried that. Going into next year, I intend to just shine and rise to the occasions that are presented for me, and be the person that I was meant to be. So I'm excited about that. And you know, I get invited to places all the time. I get invited to chamber meetings. I get invited to Chamber of Commerce meetings. I get invited to huge gatherings with very important people all of the time. And a lot of times it's just go. That's not me anymore. It's not me. I get invited to speak places. And I'll kind of say they want to hear my voice, you know. TED Talk came to Florence like 6 years ago, and they did the big kickoff, and then I met the person, one of the people who was in charge of bringing it here, and he fell in love with my platform, what I was doing. He immediately said, I want to sit down and meet with you and have you speak next year. And I can't tell you how many times I kicked myself and saying, why did you let that drop? I was afraid. And it was other people saying, when I remember telling probably 6 different people who I respected here, and saying, this person, I don't want to say his name, came and said he wanted me to do a TED Talk, and they were just like, you? Why did he ask you? Wow. And it hurt so bad.
And that goes into,
I need the website and that person's name.
That goes into knowing who you need to tell. Like, I don't tell everybody everything, because no, you don't.
And I've replayed so many.
Because you had told us, I would have been like, oh yay, Renee, TED Talk, go.
And I replayed as the year was ending. And this probably sounds crazy, but as the year was ending, I allowed myself to replay so many of those things that hurt me, so I could purge them, because what I had done was bury them. When you bury them, they're not gone, they're still there. And that means that they can be triggered later, they can come up later, they can manifest later. So I allowed myself to remember those things, feel those things, address those things, so that I could exercise those things. And that was one of the things that came back to me, because I also had to say to myself, but you let him go and stay friends with those 6 people. Why? And I didn't have an answer. And so that's the part of me, and not that any of those people did TED Talks, mind you, and he knows all of those people. So that was the part of me that I was just like, I'm so good with her being gone. I'm so good with her. I will be honest, allowing other people to abuse me. Yeah. It's not just been men, it's been just people. You know, I can be your punching bag. I can be who you release upon. I can be, you know, who you can hurt when it suits you, throw away when I'm no longer convenient for you. I'm the convenient friend. I'm the friend when you're bored. And then when you're around other people, you can seem to not remember that you know me. Yeah, that doesn't work for me anymore. So I intend to be more productive and more successful in 2023, just period. Yeah. And if that doesn't work for anybody else, then that's their problem. It's absolutely not mine. And I'm good with that. And that's my personal life. I mean, you know, I haven't been public about my personal life because I just haven't chosen to be. As far as, and it's an amazing amount of people that the people who do know that have made it like I'm hiding something because it's out of my social media. He don't need to be on my social media to be my man. But even that has become an issue with some people that, you know, to the point it's like angering them. Why don't I see a picture of you and him on your social media? I have posted him on my social media.
Why are you
don't pay
attention?
It's that you don't see him on my social media day in and day out. He don't need to be on my page. That page has one name on it. It's mine. And means that we want our relationship. We're both very public people. And I'm at a point where even that, I realized I spent 20 years living my relationships for other people too. So I just want to be happy to be happy.
Exactly.
Too. I want a successful marriage, and part of that means keeping folks out of your business. I think people don't see what is in front of their face. You're questioning me about me being in a relationship. When you see me flying out of town, where the heck you think I'm going? My kids don't live in any of the states that you see me flying to unless it's Muskegon. So where do you think I'm going? I go to the same place all the time. And when I'm with my kids, you see pictures of my kids. So
my thing is always, you got to look at who's asking you the questions. Like,
right.
If it's people who you are legitimately close to you, who really care about you, asking you those questions, then take the questions. If it's just people you know who might be messy, I wouldn't even worry. I wouldn't even worry about that. I just wouldn't.
And I think too, because he and I recently had this conversation, and I said to him, it's funny when I hear statements like, you're keeping him from everybody. You're not talking about your relationship to anybody, or you're not. And I said, but I do talk about my relationship. It's that people don't see what they want to see. So I do post that I'm in a relationship. I said to him, I talk about you on every single podcast. I say your name on most of the podcasts.
Yep.
But people are not paying attention. So, and I have posted the pictures of me and him together. It's that I don't post them every single week. So I think, or the fact that I guess that I haven't changed my relationship status on social media, does that make people married because I'm Facebook official or Instagram official? That don't make people married or unmarried. A lot of people lying on social media. So I was married to somebody who lied on his. So I don't think that we want to get into that. So
hello.
Or whether my last name changes or not, or different things. Like, people got way too much time and energy in those things,
Exactly.
So anyway, my thing is to just really be successful all the way around, and happy and productive all the way around. As we are wrapping up, let me ask you all, what would you say to the you that first started in business, or performing, or consulting, now that you have done it and learned some things over 20 years of success?
Oh, I would
like to talk to the you 20 years ago.
I don't know if Shiny ready, but I know I am. Monetize.
Right.
Don't just. I know you want to do it to help people. I know that's part of your charts. Shina's about part of your personality, part of who you are. But don't sacrifice you financially to help other people to your detriment. I would have been in another place if I had that mindset at this point. I would have definitely been like, make sure you help people. Don't monetize them, the people you're helping, necessarily. Don't just snatch money from them, but definitely monetize your efforts. That I would have done. The first business I did, I would have done that. So now with that mindset, now I'm like, okay, help people, do what you want to do, but make sure you help yourself too.
I think for me the same thing. And when I think back to 18 years, when I was 18 years ago, even longer than that, when I first started doing event planning, starting off as a performer. That was even before the internet was booming.
Yeah.
Me feel so old. Makes me feel so old. I was still printing out.
And also, I love how my camera's acting.
The printer that would go on the word processor.
Yeah. Also, I love how my camera's acting right now. We're about to wrap up.
So I go back to the word processor, then the computer, and when we were still printing out flyers, when we didn't have good imaging and different things. But I will say, for me, if I could go back and talk to 18-year-old Leah or even 25-year-old Leah and say, this is what I would tell you to do, it would be, don't give away yourself. Don't give away yours. Don't make everything for free. And I understand all of us pay dues, right? Especially when you're in the arts. You pay your dues. When you first start preaching, you pay your dues. When you first start dancing, you pay your dues. But when it comes to business, and I've always done something for someone else, it's not for free. And even if your prices change over the years, that's fine. That's business too. But I think it was, I don't even want to tell you how long it was before I started charging people for what I did. It's
too long. Too long.
Disgusting.
Too long. I know for a fact it was too long.
Because I always felt so guilty, right?
I think that's a lot of that religious mindset of,
right.
I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to
ask the church.
Yeah.
So I would go back and I would coach the heck out of her and I would set her prices, and so this is what she's going to do. And I think the other thing would be stop caring so much about what other people think about you. And do what you need to do. And I think we tell people the wrong thing. It's not, don't let it affect you because you're human, but don't put so much emphasis on letting it settle into your heart or your soul. Feel it and then release it. And that's what I've learned to do. You're human. There are certain things people say and do. That crap is going to hurt. Someone sabotaging your work. We did one.
Yes.
I won't say which one it is, because Angelique knows which one it is. We were in a very expensive venue. Like, it cost a lot.
The last one?
But someone else planned an event the same night. And so our numbers were low.
Yeah.
And the person
I know I'm talking about that.
And the person was supposed to be there at our event.
That was
yeah. And so people will do things that, that hurt. That really hurt.
And we had helped them earlier. we had done something earlier for them for free earlier. So that hurt even more, because it was just like, we did this for you and you did this to us.
Yeah. And it was absolutely done on purpose. Totally done on purpose. And it's been rectified since then. Yeah, and I can't say anything else about it.
No.
Figure it out.
Because some people in Florence in the area would know.
Yeah. But I will say, like, those type of things hurt. Or my business, somebody's totally slandered my name and destroyed my expo business. I will say, affected me to the point I didn't want to do it anymore. Anybody has a power to destroy anything. So you feel it and then you let it go, and then you keep moving.
And I think a lot of people don't understand what letting go means. It's not, because I think so many people can mix letting go, get it over, put it all together, and it's like, it's not that you don't feel anything else about it. You're not a human. It's just, you can't let it control your life anymore.
Right.
You can't meditate on that and sit in that. Like, we could have sat in that from that night on. And
we would have given it negative power.
And every day, every week, every month, brought it up, talked about it, constantly be like, yeah, the last one we did, remember that? where would that have got us? Where would that have got us?
Our dancers, because our dancers all didn't know what happened. It would have gone further than it needed to go.
And it wouldn't have, but I'm saying, where would it have got us? Nowhere. We would have just been bitter, angry, negative.
And like I say, it's been resolved since then. I'm friends with the people. I mean, it's
my thing is, even if it hadn't been resolved, something you just have to let go, not necessarily forget in the sense of, I don't remember, but just let it go. Don't let it control your life anymore. Even if it hadn't been resolved, just we need to move past, because it is some other things that have never been resolved with that, with different people, that we just had to just move past. And we just need to know we need to move past this, and we need to move past it, because we can't live in that place anymore. So it's just like, some things will be resolved, some things won't. It depends on what it is. So, we just, really, a lot of things is age, a lot of maturity, a lot of things are just mindset, so many different things of where are you going, what do you want to do? Do you want to live in that place of anger and bitterness, or you want to move past it and just be more successful? Because my thing is this, I'd rather be more successful and move past anybody that did me wrong and let y'all be back there and be good to go. For me, not saying you aren't, but I'm saying people, people that just live in that mindset of this person, no, okay, I'm moving on, because I can't give you any more power. I gotta let it go. For me, I can't be angry every day. It's stressful, tiring.
So, Shawnee, what would you say to you 20 years ago?
I would say to continue to listen to myself and no one else.
She said, don't listen to nobody else, girl. I'm the only one that matters.
That's what I would say. But find one thing, and because I had a while when I was learning all types of different things, because I just wasn't sure. But I wish I would have stuck with one thing sooner. But yeah, I would just listen to myself, because like right when I was 18, I started learning about astrology and different types of pantheons, like Egyptian, and and I just felt like I had no choice but to learn about that. But then stuff happened and I stopped going into it as hard as I did. But I wish I would have stuck with that and not got off of it. But I don't think in what I wish I would have did, but that is what I would have said.
Okay. Let me ask you all, what is your word for the year?
Discipline and responsibility. I know that's two, but
I was going to say, that is not what I asked you, ma'am.
How is
they're in the same thing?
Consistency. Because I was going to say focus, but I'm like, it goes into consistency. Is my word for the year, consistency. Because it all rolls into the same. Stay focused, stay on target, what I want to do, goals, everything, consistency. I think that's my word for the year. For me. It might change halfway through, but for right now, consistency.
Mine had to be two, and mine is focus and mine is live. because like I addressed earlier, like I need to have more fun. So I like my word for the year is live. I just want to actually just live. So much of my life has been what needs to get done. If I can give a biblical analogy, if I can give a parable, I spent most of my life being Martha instead of Mary, and I want to change that. And I've worked when I should have just been relaxed and gleaning, and so that's what I want to do. I just and know when that needs to happen. So I think focus will allow me to live. So, but those are the two that are what I'm holding to my heart for this year.
Okay, those are good.
Yeah. We thank you so much for being with us. I know that our show went long today, but sometimes when you're in a good conversation, it's just hard to cut it off. So we ask you to take down your comments and questions, the things that have made you think about your goal setting, and write them down. You can write them in the comments. We do read the comments during the week, and any comments that we see, we will actually read them next week in our show. Or you can email them to us, or if you are on our Facebook page, you can just go ahead and leave them in our messages or our Instagram, and we will get them. But please stay in touch with us and be engaged with us. We want this to be not just our show with the sisters, but our show as all of us, all of those listening. We look forward to having you with us next week. Next week, our show is going to be on health and wellness, and we have a special guest, and that is Mr. Dwight Malone, who's a certified personal trainer, certified I'm trying to go through all his stuff.
A lot.
He's a certified personal trainer. He's a certified nutritionist.
Zumba.
And he's a certified Zumba instructor. And so he will be with us. And he happens to be my oldest son. So we look forward to having you all with us. And if you have questions for Dwight on health and nutrition or wellness ahead of time, please write them out and be prepared to have them for the show next week. So until then, we thank you for being with us tonight. It's been an amazing show on goal setting. Chantalie and Angelique, I look forward to having a phenomenal year with you all on the Elijah Sisters podcast, as well as just being the best sisters you could possibly be. And on that, I am Leah.
I'm Shani.
And I'm Angelique.
Thank you for allowing our family to be your family, and you all have a wonderful night.